Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: Celtic signed Doris de Vries on a 2-year deal, and the manager Brendan Rodgers reckons the team are in good shape for their Champions League playoff match against Hapoel Beersheva. Rangers sit top of the Premiership in Scotland, and they are also in the hunt for 2 new signings. We'll look back over all the weekend's games, get the thoughts of Alan Ruff, and our boot room guest on a Monday as ever is Mark Guidi. Delighted to have Mark's company. So Celtic confirmed Doris de Vries as backup. Ruffy, 2-year deal, put a bit of pressure on Gordon, but I would imagine Gordon's still number one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's interesting, that the managers are now buying goalkeepers for their footballing ability rather than their goalkeeping ability. It just shows you how much things have changed, and it is a big part of the game now. I think all the teams want to build up for the back. I'm not saying I don't think Craig Gordon's particularly bad at it. I think it's just a matter of that's the way the team want to play. You've just got to do it. But he's a reasonable goalkeeper, and it's always good to have somebody putting a wee bit of pressure on you.
Yeah, of course you're alluding to Joe Hart being dropped for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Obviously, it's caused a bit of controversy down south. Were you good at taking the ball into feet, Ruffy?
Yeah, I was quite happy with that, I remember one time when we played Scotland versus England at Hampden, I actually nutmegged Kevin Keegan just near the halfway line, and then the referee said play on, and I panicked a bit because I thought he was offside.
Still, a nutmeg's a nutmeg, Ruffy, so let's celebrate it. So they've got Doris de Vries, they've got Hapoel Beersheva. They could still produce a wildcard signing, Mark, before this one. Is there any great urgency? Do you think they've got enough in the tank to get past what, let's be honest about it, is an unknown Hapoel Beersheva?
You'd like to think they've got enough there, Peter, with the addition of Scott Sinclair, Kolo Toure now getting into the swing of it, Dembele scoring. So the new signings have settled in well. Even if they did sign somebody in time for the tie, I couldn't see him coming in and playing from the start on Wednesday night, because you need to fit into a formation, get to know your teammates. So as much as Brendan Rodgers is still looking to add to the squad, I don't see anybody coming in time to make an immediate impact on Wednesday night.
Okay, as far as the game itself, they're not short of money going into it anyway, but there's a well-known £20 million minimum kitty that's the reward if they can get past these 2 games.
Oh, listen, it'd be great to see Celtic back in the Champions League, Peter. I've not been there for 2 years. I think we've all missed it. You can't beat that theme tune belting round. So I hope over the 2 legs to get through. I don't know a lot about Hapoel, but to get to where they are, then they've got to be more than decent. I read comments from René Meulenstein, who knows a bit about Israeli football, saying that they are a more than decent outfit and they will cause Celtic problems. So ideally you take a 2-0 lead over to Israel, but even a 1-0 isn't a bad one, Peter, because of the pace that Celtic have now in the counter-attack. You'd fancy them to score over there.
Yep. Okay, it's been an interesting weekend in the Premiership in Scotland. Here's something that Rangers fans have been waiting for more than a few years, Ruffy. They're top of the Premiership in Scotland after being away for 4 years. It was a good win against Dundee at the weekend. Another test on from the game against Hamilton.
Yeah, I think after the Hamilton result, I think particularly in the first half, excuse me, I think they were impressive. Back to front, they moved the ball very well and at pace. They had loads of chances. If they'd taken their chances, they'd have won even more comfortably. But in the second half, there was still the glimpses of other teams opening them up and silly wee mistakes creeping in that maybe a better team might have capitalised on. But a win is an important one, because I know it's only 2 games into the season, but a draw there, 2 points out of 6, people would be certainly maybe jumping on the bandwagon, but sitting top of the league is where they want to be.
Yep, all positive stuff. And again, Mark, you can only judge Rangers on what they're producing. We were talking about it on Saturday's programme. Regardless of spin, hype, call it what you will, the evidence is there on the park. They've managed to get the win against Dundee. Harry Forrester scoring a really good goal in Kenny Miller. And off the back of that, Rangers fans today looking and thinking, wait a minute, Philippe Senderos and possibly Joe Garner, the 2 targets that Rangers want in there. And Mark Warburton mentioned in last week's press conference he wants a central defender and an attacker.
Well, listen, Joe Garner has scored some quality goals all throughout his career, and more recently at Preston North End. If Rangers can get Joe Garner, and that's a terrific signing for them, really bolsters their attack. Senderos, I don't know what kind of condition he's been in, but certainly with his experience, you could see him becoming what Davy Weir was at Rangers 7-8 years ago under Walter Smith, where he can talk the likes of Danny Wilson through it and help guide these guys through games. So if they get those two in, that's real quality signings. And to go to Dens Park and win on Saturday against a good Dundee side was exactly what Rangers needed after the previous weekend. So the signs are good.
Yep, Senderos would be yet again another sign from Mark Warburton that he's looking for more experienced people at the back and at a level well above what is currently operating in Scotland, Ruffy.
Well, it's the same as Brendan Rodgers, at Celtic. He's identified the troubles that they were having at the back, and if you put somebody with a bit of experience and a bit of quality, they have that ability to sort of everybody round about them, they just up their game, and that's similar to what they're obviously trying to do at Rangers.
Good win for Rangers. Aberdeen and Hearts shared the spoils, but out of it seems to have come a closer look at Hearts' disciplinary record. 16 yellow cards in 6 days. They were the second, I use this in inverted commas, second dirtiest team in Scotland last year. I wonder if you can guess who the dirtiest was, you two guys.
In the top flight of the whole country?
In the top flight.
In the top flight? Oh, I don't know.
Hamilton Accies. Oh. But the Jambos are a physical side. That's the way they play the game, as well as mixing it up and playing some nice football. But in the end, it was just a stalemate. I don't think they can afford too many of the draws now, because this element of Rangers will be very, very interesting in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're right, Peter. I was at Pittodrie on Saturday, and there were 7 bookings, 5 for Hearts, 2 for Aberdeen. It wasn't a dirty game. That said, I don't think the referee Kevin Clancy overreacted with the yellow card. I thought the ones that he dished out were merited, but it wasn't a dirty game. It wasn't a great game either. It was short of quality. I think both teams tired. They're still trying to get into their full fitness. But if they are going to be not even title contenders, Peter, but even slotting it out to be runners up, to be in that mix, they're going to have to improve. But both of them, both have good sets of players. They've plenty of options, so I think that they will get good. They will find a bit of momentum, and they'll be right up there. Is
there enough creativity though, Mark? Because without Hayes, Aberdeen at times, you wonder where they're going to get the goals from. The creative aspect of it.
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt that Johnny Hayes is a big miss for them. But you've got Niall McGinn. I was impressed with Wes Burns. I thought Wes Burns played well. Peter Pollitt had great acceleration, burst of pace. In the final third, you had Rooney on the bench, you had Miles Storey on the bench. So, yeah, I think there's enough there, but undoubtedly, if Johnny Hayes is fit, he plays for them and he's one of their main players.
And are Hearts missing something for you?
Maybe a creative player. They're just somebody just to put their foot in the ball, to look up, to a wee bit of composure in the final third, because Tony Watt and Connor Salmon, I think, are a good partnership. They've got good movement, but maybe just somebody, just a wee bit special in the middle of the park. But guys like that cost a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Ruffy, the stats don't lie. The goals for Kilmarnock won the game. Chris Boyd scored his 100th goal for Kilmarnock, but I can't believe Hamilton lost that game against Kelly at the weekend.
No, I'm sure Hamilton will be thinking the same. I saw Martin Cannon after it, the interview. They had more than ample chances to win that game. All credit to Jamie McDonald. Lost a bad goal, but made up for it for the rest of the game with 4 or 5 quality saves, and I think they'll need him for the whole season. He was in terrific form for the past 2 years, so yeah, he was a big player for them at the weekend. Yep,
and if we're going to talk about teams in Scotland, I think are catching the eye at the moment, Mark. We were talking about Alloa, 7 games, 7 wins, but St Johnstone unbeaten in 7 in Scotland.
Yeah, and I was delighted to see them beat Hearts in the League Cup. They were my tip, Peter, on this show to win the Betfred Cup.
Just so remember, self-praise is no praise. Let's move on.
I wanted you to get that line. Yeah, that's right, I did. And Tommy Wright does a terrific job. They're year in, year out, and if St Johnstone can hang on to him, they'll be doing well. He just gets his team organised, disciplined. No frills. Every player knows their job and they get it done. And
should we be too critical of Samson? Was that a real howler, the goal that allowed McLean to get the winner?
No, I think it was a mistake. You can see when it happened, you could see that he should have done better. But there was a wee bit of movement on the ball. But just one of these things. You just have to move on. He's a quality goalkeeper. I'm sure he'll put it to bed.
Yep, and of course, you always good when you get your teammate after the game saying, these balls have got a lot of swerve on them now, you know, that always helps. You can make your own judgment call on that. After the break, we're going to talk about a team that have got a huge support following them. I'm talking, of course, about Hibernian. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Monday to Friday, we are on 7 o'clock, Monday to Thursday, and then the extended show from 6:30 on a Friday. Our Bitroom guest on the Monday, as ever, is Mark Guidi. Let's take a look at all the Premiership scores from the weekend for you. Celtic not in action. They were taking on Inter Milan in a Champions Cup friendly. And there you see Rangers win, puts them top of the table. Aberdeen and Hearts couldn't be split at Pittodrie. Hamilton against Kilmarnock was a good win for Lee Clark's side. And of course, Motherwell against St Johnstone, we've discussed a 2-1 win for Tommy Wright's side. They're unbeaten in 7 games. Just finally, the Derby, guys. Ruffy, I still think it's too early to start saying it's worrying times for Richie Foran. He just needs to get his feet in there. But of course, for Jim McIntyre, it was a big win and a great hat-trick for Liam Boyce.
Yeah, I think people down in the West don't realise it is a derby up there, you know, and when you're living up in that neck of the woods, it's good to get the win. But I think the 3 goals that he got were pretty easy. You know, I think Inverness will have to do something pretty drastic at the back, you know, to shore that up, or they could have a long season. But I've already tipped them to be in the bottom 3 for most of the season, and that display, I can't see them getting any better.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you, the positive news, if you're looking out with the Premiership, Mark, has to be at Easter Road. Over 16,000 fans for that match against Dunfermline, which in the end, Hibernian got a 2-1 win. Jason Cummings with the winner.
Yeah, terrific score for them. And the crowd doesn't surprise me. Peter, it won't surprise Alan or yourself. What through there, you think back to when Alec McLeish won promotion with them, it was the same, 15, 16, 17,000 away back. Was that 1999? I think that was. Great crowds, and it just shows what a massive club it is, and how that, you know, with all respect to the rest, it'd be great to see Hibs back up in the top flight. But so far, Neil Lennon doing a very good job.
I think on the downside of that is when games are very, very tight and you've got 16,000 there, you know, sometimes players struggle to handle the pressure, and I think that's what Neil will have to convince them, you know, that when they're arguing through that wee rocky spell, you know, that they're all pushing in the right direction, because some crowd, 16,000 to play in, particularly Easter Road.
Yep, this was the Hibs boss Neil Lennon's take on that victory at the weekend.
Well, it's been another very good performance because we dominated the game for long periods. I think we've had umpteen of chances and attempts on goal. Could have again been 2 or 3 up at half time. They actually scored and we were really in control. There was a break in play, Louis went down, and I think we just switched off. They scored a very good goal, and then for only 5-10 minutes we wobble. You know, we have to learn to manage that better. Good players making basic errors for no reason, and it's just the psychology of the game. They have to deal with better. They reacted after that, they settled, and we looked alright again, you know, and scored a great goal. Jason again in the right place at the right time, but the contribution from Dylan and Martin was very, very good, you know, so very, very happy, I have to say. You know, it's not easy, this league, and that's 2 wins out of 2, so I've got to be very pleased with it.
I know he wants to get another couple of players in before the window shuts. If he's not going to get Liam Henderson, Andrew Shinnie would be a good call.
It would be, yeah. You know, Andrew Shinnie knows the game up here really well. His brother's still doing terrific at Aberdeen, so yeah, Andrew Shinnie would be a good signing if they could get him. And also as well, holding on to Jason Cummings and John McGinn. You know, you keep a hold of those two, you build from that, and you know, Hibs looking good, and Dundee United having a poor start to the league, so that's certainly encouragement for Hibs.
Yep, let's look at the Championship and the results from the weekend for you. There's that Hibs scoreline. Of course, Morton and Falkirk shared a 1-1 draw. Queen of the South with an emphatic win there. Derek Lyle, as ever, just seems to score every week. Wraith Rovers with a good win over St Mirren, and Wraith Rovers, I think, are the team that we're going to be keeping an eye on, Ruffy, in that division as well.
Yeah, they had a very good season last year. You know, they just fell short. Obviously, not got the same budget as everybody else, but I think Gary Locke's went in there. He's brought a lot of experienced players in there. They're getting wins. You know, the crowds are starting to come back as well. So yeah, they're doing particularly well this season.
Yeah, let's have a look, Mark, at my tip to win League One and see how they fared after week 2. As you can see the scores coming in there. I've tipped Peterhead to win it. They've had a blistering start, thumped by East Fife at the weekend as well. I'm not sure if the party's still ongoing from last season, but it's just not happened for them so far. But that result there from Alloa, I think, has caught everybody's attention. Jack Ross working wonders.
Yeah, and I tipped Alloa to win League One as well.
Is there any chance? What we'll do is we'll have a break for a couple of minutes and let Mark lick his own arm. You're really doing well.
So you're allowed to mention when it's going wrong. You're not allowed to mention when it's going well. Listen, it's early days. If you're going to lose games, you may as well lose them. But I think Peterhead will come back and will certainly finish in the top 8.
You can't use it's early days because Ruffy was using that in May for Dundee United.
Let's not go to the second division just in case he's picked them as well.
I'll only concentrate in the big leagues, Ruffy.
Yeah, that should get you a pasting, let me tell you. Well, let's have a look at the Alloa doing really well. But there's League 2 for you. My tip, Clyde held to a draw with Stirling Albion. And over and above that, Edinburgh City just finding life that little bit tougher in the professional league, a 3-0 loss to Elgin City. So that's how it looked in the Scottish divisions right across. I'm just looking there to see about the English Premier League. It started at the weekend and there were some incredible scores. Here's the results from the Barclays Premier League. Of course, often difficult to look at this league without a certain amount of envy at the money that's been spent down there. But there were some cracking games, and I think most notably on the Sunday, Ruffy, Zlatan, not short in confidence, and he scored at almost every club he's joined.
Yeah, I have to say, well, this is just my opinion. I didn't think it was the greatest of strikes. I thought the goalkeeper could have had a bit better, but it was positioned particularly well. It came through 2 or 3 people, but when you've got that kind of ability and that kind of record, you know, that why not have a shot? But I was impressed with him. I thought that to fit him and Rooney in there, you know, and build it round about them, it's just back to Man United of old, you know, a bit of quality, a bit of style, a bit of, you know, razzmatazz, a player that entertains. And although he doesn't put himself about, you know, if he's going to score goals like that, then you have him in every week.
Yeah, I think you're actually barking up the wrong tree with Mark and me on the show talking about lack of movement. We've got we don't even relate to you on that. We're all for Zlatan and his economy of movement. to be honest with you, that's a Man United side without Pogba, and I've tipped City. What do I know?
Well, I think that's one thing. It's going to be a great title race. Now you look at Liverpool beating Arsenal. You look at the champions Leicester losing at Hull. You've got Chelsea later on tonight, so it's going to be absolutely fantastic down there.
And if you think, you know, the pressure's on managers up here, and it will intensify the closer we get to the Glasgow derby between Celtic and Rangers, Arsene Wenger, Ruffy, must be feeling the heat right now. I think it got to about 60 minutes and they were booing him. I just cannot work out. If that club apparently has money, surely you're going to spend it when you consider all your closest rivals.
Yeah, again, but it seems to be his philosophy, you know, that he brings players in when he wants to know, and he doesn't listen to everybody else, you know, and he seems very stubborn about the whole club, you know. I think he thinks that the club is his, you know, rather than it's everybody's, you know, so he makes the decisions. He will quote, you know, the money that he's turned over in the last 10 years to the benefit of the club, the new stadium and everything, but at the be-all and end-all is the fans. If the fans are reacting to that so early on in the season, surely you've got to give them what they want. They pay the money and get some quality in, as Man United have done. Give some entertainment. They are a good side to watch, but at start of every season, every club wants a big name. Everybody wants a star, and I don't think they've come up with the goods.
Yeah, we've picked our winners in Scotland. Give us your top 4 in England that you picked at the weekend, Ruffy.
I went for Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Liverpool, Chelsea. Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Man City to win it, Man United runners-up, Liverpool third, Chelsea fourth.
Okay, there you are. It's exactly exactly what you said as well. Join us over the course of the season when Mark will continually give us an update on where his teams are faring in this league. You'll either love him or hate him as the programme continues throughout the season. Anyway, on that note, just briefly, Celtic, Hapoel, Beersheva, what's your prediction for Wednesday night?
2-0 Celtic.
2-0 Celtic.
2-0 Celtic. Okay, well, there you have it. The Chipmunks are again on the same page again. They've agreed with everything today. Thanks to Mark Guidi for joining us on the programme. Do join us if you can tomorrow night from 7 on Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Thanks for watching.